What's going on, everybody? By the end of this video, you're going to know how to overcome all the objections when it comes to subject to. Now, you're going to hear me on a live call, and in real time, I'm overcoming all the objections that the seller is giving me. If you don't know what subject to is, simply means that we are coming in and we are purchasing a seller's property without any of our own cash, credentials, or credit, simply by taking over the current mortgage that's in place. Yes, you could do that. Like the mortgage stays in the seller's name. Pretty crazy. But you're going to hear me overcome all the objections that come up in these conversations on this call. Now, this call is very interesting because I had a call right before this call with this same exact lady. And I got off of that first call and I realized, I was like, there's something that I missed. And as you know, if you are a salesperson or if you're training to be a salesperson, that's probably why you're listening to this Kingdom Closers series. Having this feeling, it's probably the worst feeling that you can have as a salesperson. You need that to be answered. So I actually went into the second call and ultimately it revealed a bunch of different things, which led to me talking to her about subject to. Before we get into the call, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you can see when these videos come out. We're doing this series called Kingdom Closers, and these videos are dropping every single Wednesday night. And if you subscribe, you'll get these. Kingdom Closers is a sales training series that we're doing. For these first few videos, I'm showing you guys the thing. Like I'm showing you guys in real time how we are talking to these sellers and our prospects, so that later when you get the sales training, you have context. So let's get right into the call.
Hello?
Hey, Rachel, sorry to call you back so quick. I was just thinking about something. So you said, what was it, $100,000 exactly that was in arrears?
Yes, about 100,000. Mm-hmm.
So what are your thoughts on, like, what do you think the bank would say if they knew that you were coming up with the other $50,000?
That's what they're supposed to know, because that's what I told them I could come up with it.
Oh.
I told them I have it. Yeah, that's the whole gap. That's yeah. I mean, I didn't have it in one account. Maybe they like to see it all together, but
Right.
I have it. So. Yeah, that's the deal.
Wow.
Are you suggesting that you might have been able to lend me that, or how? I mean, what was that?
Well, I was thinking something where we work something out where I don't know if it would be a lending type of deal, but if we could come up with the $50,000 to make them whole along with the grant, that might be an option to stop any of the foreclosure and put the loan back in place. Now, on our end, would it look like a loan? Probably not. It would probably look like the option that we were talking about before, where we take responsibility of everything. But if they know that somebody, no matter if it's yourself or somebody giving you a loan or whatever it is giving you the money to make them whole, I don't see why they would not be okay with that.
I don't see any reason why I don't know why they wouldn't be okay with that. That's where actually the position I'm in with them right now. And instead of just accepting the whole, the cash to make me whole, suggested I do the whole modification application all over again, which I'm like, for what? It's cash. It doesn't make sense that they're asking me to do all that. But in that case, and if you did take over the house, I'm not sure how that looks. I'm a little bit confused on that. So that would mean that you would own the house after that.
Really quick before you watch the rest of the video, if you haven't heard already, I'm running a monthly free wholesaling challenge. And this is what it looks like. Week 1, it's a sales training. Week 2 is also a sales training. Week 3, I hop on the phone with sellers, and I call them in real time. Week 4, I actually give you guys motivated seller leads to call on the Zoom. Now, my team has generated thousands of leads, and I provide those leads for you guys to call on the Zoom. And I'm in the side chat giving you guys feedback on what to say next and all that stuff to push it to the next level. So if you want to get in these Zooms, it's absolutely free. Go to wholesalewithmike.com or just go to the link in the description below. Let's get back into the video.
In that case, and if you did take over the house, I'm not sure how that looks. I'm a little bit confused on that. So that would mean that you would own the house after that.
Yeah, it would be a few different conversations that we would have. But to keep it in simple terms, we could essentially come in, pay the arrears off, and then whatever your mortgage is right now, let's call it $1,300 along with your taxes and insurance. We'll just come in and we'll take full responsibility of it, along with everything else that comes with the house, like repairs, maintenance, all that type of stuff. And essentially we would be on the deed. And it would no longer be your responsibility.
Is it the same thing as assuming the mortgage kind of thing?
Kind of like that. Yeah, it's kind of like assuming the mortgage, but when you assume the mortgage, we have to go out and you got to do a whole entire, like, pretty much loan approval process and all that type of stuff. And the loan itself has to have verbiage in like the paperwork when you first signed off on it that the loan is assumable, and most of them aren't. So that's
Okay,
the
so
deal.
with you being on the deed, if the home were sold, would I receive any profits from the sale, or is that, do you guys own the home in its entirety and have everything else in it?
We could potentially would have to underwrite it and would have to see exactly what we rent it out for and all that type of stuff before I could give you like an offer, and would have to see the total amount, like exact on what we would be out of pocket if we caught up the arrears. If it was a situation where we only had to come up with the 50,000, I think that's a little bit more realistic for us to do the deal rather than the 100,000. The 100,000, it's like that would be essentially, almost 25% down that would be putting on a house, and wouldn't really make much sense as far as us in an investment standpoint. But if we only had to come out of pocket like $50,000 to catch them up, then there might be an opportunity. I can't make any promises, but there might be an opportunity to get you money in your pocket at the sale too, when we take responsibility of everything.
It makes sense, but if I can, well, kind of, it doesn't totally make sense to me. But if you were on the deed, then but the mortgage would still be in my name, correct?
Correct.
So I would still be responsible, in theory, for making sure that mortgage was paid.
No, we would be responsible for making sure the mortgage was paid. Because you got to think about it. We're coming in with like $50,000 plus of our own money for an investment. Very worst case scenario, if we fell off the face of the earth or something, we would lose our investment, And if the bank came to try to come at us ever, we would lose our investment of $50,000. Does that make sense? So
It does.
So that's like our skin in the game, essentially, for making the payments. Plus, it's our asset that we own. We're in charge of making the payments.
Okay. Then I'm still very much a present. If the mortgage is still in my name, then I haven't disappeared. I'm still very present. So what does my presence mean?
Your presence only means that your name is on the loan. Like, that's literally it. You won't even get a mortgage statement or anything like that. They'll be redirected to our office. You will have insurance policy against the house, but we will be the ones that are insured fully on the house. Like, everything is our responsibility. And for you, it's literally nothing. I did a deal probably about a year ago out in Arizona. Lady bought this house for 3 years. She didn't move into it. She bought it right before COVID, was supposed to move in with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend pretty much ghosted her. She never moved out. She actually lived out here in Boston. She never moved out to Arizona. She just left the property there, never paid any mortgage payments for 3 years straight. So we just came in and we pretty much bought her arrears out and just took over the mortgage payments and made it one of our Airbnbs. But we took full responsibility of everything. So, like, for a perfect example, we found pack rats that were in the AC unit. We had to fix that. Every single time the mortgage came, that's our responsibility. Every single time we got any tax bills or anything like that, they're redirected into our name, since we are the ones that's on the deed, if that makes sense.
It does. So, but I'm assuming since the mortgage is still in her name, though, if you ever sold the property, she still has to sign. She has to do something with that deal, correct?
Nope. We actually ended up selling the deal probably about 8 months later. And yeah, she doesn't need anything. She didn't need to do anything. She just the only thing that she needed to do is look at her text messages, because I texted her. I said, hey, Aracil, your loan is completely paid off. Nothing you need to do. No real notifications you're probably going to get anyway. But if you do look at your credit history, you'll see that it's off of the credit history, and that's it.
All right, cool. So I'll keep you in mind. We'll keep and I'll look forward to speaking to you maybe the end of next week. I'll let you know if there's any updates. Okay?
Yeah, let me know. So did you show them like proof that you were going to be able to make them whole with the arrears?
They asked for all my accounts that had the money in it to prove that I had it.
Got it. Well, I don't see why they shouldn't approve you then. Like, they're going to get their arrear amount, then they should approve you.
I think so.
In my opinion.
I think so too. Let's see. Okay.
But let's just play the scenario out. Let's just say a week goes by. They approve it. They say, yeah, if you bring in, $50,000 plus the $50,000 grant, what we could potentially do, we'll have another conversation next week, but what we could potentially do is come up with that 50 grand instead of you guys coming up with it. We'll come up with it. And we could just take responsibility of everything once, the loan is caught back up, if that makes sense.
It does. Okay. All right. All right. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
All right, Rachel.
Bye-bye.
Talk next week.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.